As Zen students, our life begins with Zazen practice. We come back to zero and start from zero. Although we have various activities, the most important thing is to realize how these activities arise from zero. During Zazen, you may hear a bird singing. Something is arising in your practice. In the same way, in our everyday life, many things will arise, and if you know where these things come from, you will not be disturbed by them. Because you don't know how it happens, you become confused. If you know how things arise, then at the moment something happens, you will be ready. Oh, something is arising. It is like watching the sunrise. Oh, the sun is just coming up. When we practice Zazen with no idea of anything, we are quite relaxed. Because it is difficult to have complete relaxation in our usual posture, we take the posture of Zazen. To do this, we follow the instructions that have been accumulated from the experience of many people in the past. If you practice Zazen following the instructions, it will work. But if you do not trust your own pure, open, white screen mind, returning to zero, your practice will not work. Thank you very much. Just sitting, grounded, upright, breathing and being breathed.
You have to unmute.
Yeah, I can make an announcement about the Doan Rio practice that's coming March 14th here at Yalupa from 10 to 12. And it's open to everyone, anybody interested, anybody's already on Doan Rio. So let me know if you have any questions.
And other announcements, the next Barrio Walk, there's a flyer up there. It's at the Sebastopol Flea Market. They're really fun. The next sitting is the 22nd. And 2 Sangha members. Patty Garrett's been having a really hard time post-surgery, and I think would really appreciate it if people just checked in, just said, how you doing? And Susan Spencer begins a round of radiation, I think today on her nose. So those are both people you could reach out to and just let them know you're thinking of them. Okay, now we're on with understanding our mind.
Chris, is the time changing this Sunday?
Don't ask me.
Yes, it is. Yeah, spring forward.
Okay.
An hour. So
Okay.
Debbie, we're gonna be at your house at 9 o'clock, but it'll really be 10 o'clock or no, it'll be 10 o'clock. I can't. I don't know. Spring forward. Yeah, it'll be 8 o'clock.
Use your
Yeah,
phone.
by the
Use your
clock.
phone. That's how I.
That's a good idea.
Do what the phone does.
Yeah, your iPhone do it for you. That's right. Yeah, and any phone. Oh, okay.
Okay, Yogacara. Yogacara, the tenet of Yogacara is based in the Buddhist thought. Central tenet of Buddhist thought is the idea of a lasting separate self is an illusion. And we've all got it, right? Everybody's going to die except me. I mean, I really do think that the self can't conceptualize itself not being here. That goes against the very nature of the self. We're all laughing and nodding, and it's just anyway. So Yogacara says that the base of our human problem is that there's because we see from over here and over there, there's a split between self and other, and we just keep recreating it over and over. And that's what we are hardwired to do as human beings. So it's not that this is a problem we have to get over. We need to wake up in the center of it. The very first verse of the 30 verses of consciousness only Vasubandhus. I'm doing a little backup because now anyway, I'm just going to do a little backup. First verse is consciousness is Thich Nhat Hanh's translation. Consciousness always includes subject and object. The mind always does. Self and other, inside, outside are all creations of the conceptual mind. And Yogacara says these are merely conceptions occurring within a process of consciousness that's a constant flow and a process. It's a mysterious unfolding. And of course, these little selves want to know what's going on and want to be in control. So we're just constantly reinforcing our patterns and our habits. And it's so tender and it's so funny and it's so sad. Because we keep perceiving a world that's determined by the habits of emotion, perception, and thought that are held in what Yogacara says is the storehouse. What Yogacara says that we don't have to be victims of this process and just keep doing the same thing, that we can be active participants in the way our habits are formed, which of course, as we work with our own mind and the world, it's because the deepest truth of it is there's deep interbe. Everything is interconnected. As we wake up in this mind, the whole mind wakes up, and as we more and more plant seeds of goodness and awakening in this very person, it plants seeds in the entire body is Buddha's body. I think this quote came from Ben Connolly. In each moment, our experience is determined to a great extent by seeds from the past that are bearing fruit right now. In each moment, too, we can plant a seed intentionally that will create fruit in the future. We can plant seeds of mindfulness, of kindness, of humility, of energy, of trust, of letting go, an array of beneficial possibilities. It's profoundly empowering to shift our focus from believing the story our mind creates about an external world to remember that our storehouse consciousness itself is driving our view of the world and our feelings about it. Transformation at the base. So the 30 verses we've been studying, the first 15 verses, we're kind of doing the wrap up of that today, and we're beginning in the second portion of these verses. So the first we've been looking at afflictive emotions. It's kind of wonderful that this does not skip emotions. I think sometimes traditions in Buddhism, the belief can be that you can do a spiritual bypass, that you just can skip the body, you can skip feelings, and Yogacara and Vasubandhu say, no, you really need to be able to feel emotions so that you can know they're arising, and you can also know the pain of or the suffering of what happens when we keep recreating separation all the time and make a choice over and over. The second part that we're heading into now, which Ben very kindly wrote a whole separate book on, Vasubandhu's Three Natures, a Practitioner's Guide for Liberation. Study the nature of phenomena as a way to help us let go of this habitual belief system, conceptual system, and just let it go and let it go so that more and more we know that we are part of an intimate flow of everything, and everything is interconnected. But it's ongoing practice because this mind will keep recreating separation, the mind of the separation. Not good, not bad, it just is. So Vasubandhu says, practice, pay attention, really understand the power of how this thing that we do is. So now we're in the second half. We're on verse 17, and it says, you ready? Listen up. Projection. It's all about projection. This transformation of consciousness is conceptualization. What is conceptualized does not exist, thus, everything is projection only. So, consciousness is the activity of what Vasubandhu and Yogacara calls the storehouse, and it's producing conceptions all the time. But all we really know about what's really going on through this conscious mind is we're projecting it out there, and it comes to us. Each of us has different perceptions of the same event. Doesn't that fascinate you?
Yeah.
Doesn't I just have always said this. I mean, kids must, it's like, what's dog consciousness? How does that dog see that? What's Mary Ann's consciousness? I mean, she's sitting on a different part of the room, so of course she's going to perceive, but and then I think, what about somebody with a certain like ADHD? What's that? You know, we say these words, but what's that look like? What's a 5-year-old conscious? I think the whole thing is just actually fast, probably because part of why I became a psychotherapist and why I study Buddhism is what's really going on. It's like, what's a red shoulder hawk consciousness? It's like, wow. So, so we are, so consciousness is all the seeds transforming in various ways through mutual influence, producing the many conceptualizations. So everything is influencing everything else from beginningless past and into the future, because time is timeless. Everything is co-producing this moment, and it's all flowing and moving and dynamic and beyond anything that we can imagine. And we just keep trying to make it simple, right? Because the unconscious stream of conditioning that creates our experience this moment is ever-changing, dynamic, a dynamic flowing process of ripening, because each moment new karma is created and exhausted. So karma is not static. It's not like, oh God, that's really bad karma. Oh man, you had really bad karma, so that happened. This is alive, and we are agents in it. It says it's like a waterfall, just like Suzuki Roshi's lecture about the waterfall. The feeling of the rushing activity of the seeds transforming, influencing, producing, and proliferating experience. It's like spring. You know, when we're watering seeds and there's little seeds down in the ground and it's popping up or it's dying or it's, when we meditate, it slows it down and it softens it so we can begin to see how the mind is creating a world in which there is suffering, i.e., another way of saying it is dissatisfaction. Bruce and I were talking this morning, difference between a mind of complaining and a mind of gratitude. So I mean, it's practice. I remember Richard Baker talking, my first teacher, talking about sinking mind or rising mind. It's like, watch the mind, study the mind. We're creating the world. Okay, verse 19, the ripening of karma. Karmic impressions and the impressions of grasping self and other produce further ripening as the former karmic effect is exhausted. Okay. We feel located in a human body, right? This is my body. I'm over here. There are emotions, thoughts, beliefs, when in fact, it's all just a ripening and a movement, a dynamic movement of karma. We can remind ourselves that we can direct our consciousness towards beneficial intention. and create more beneficial karmic impressions and conditions for a more harmonious life. It says, this is a commentary, it must be Ben's, there are a lot of internal arguments. Really? No, that's a joke. Do you have internal arguments going on in your head, or at least conversations? But probably there's a lot of commenting. So the practice is just the felt sense awareness of what's happening, not with it wanting it to be otherwise, because the minute you want to make it otherwise, that sets up more of the dynamic of push-pull, right? Then you're othering yourself. So we're just being available to what it feels like to be in this world where it's the good news about right now is it's so clear, not on a spring. I mean, spring day is incredible beauty and proliferation of blossoms and life, and simultaneously aware that there is great suffering. Planting seeds of peace and kindness is our bodhisattva intention. Yogacara says there's twofold grasping. One is the impressions of karma, and then the other is the impressions of a grasping self and others. So stuff is arising and passing, but it's how we're interacting with it. It's I like it, I don't want it, I want it to go away. So we're just aware of it. That's all. The Heart Sutra, Prajnaparamita, are all teachings of no eyes, no ears, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind. It's just this, just this, just this. So we keep letting go of our grip on everything and bring a vast curiosity to what is it? Is that true? What's really going on here? And more let go of our stories, assuming you have one or two going on in your head. And the more that we can let go, then we can sense and feel a vast sense of connection to everyone and everything in the world, even the things we don't like, everything that occurs. So now we're at the three natures. This is the beginning of the introduction of the three natures, which is verse 20. Whatever thing is conceptualized by whatever conceptualization is of an imaginary nature, it does not exist. Now, I think it's interesting that in Mahayana, we bring forward the virtue and the wonder of imagination. It gets turned to imagination, but it begins rooted in everything is imaginary. We're making it all up, which is why we can also unmake it and we can imagine new worlds. So we're playing with this here. So this is the model of the three natures. And it's very close to, because we've done this, must have been with the, I mean, ongoing, but with the Avatamsaka Sutra, the relative and the absolute. And I always like that as I understand it, in San Francisco Zen Center in the dining room, there are pictures of it's a stained glass of hands bowing that swings between the dining room and the kitchen, and they say it's Suzuki Roshi's hands. But it's the relative and absolute. It's always the relative and the absolute. It's just this moment, and just this moment is this particular moment, and it is also all of vast time and space and an unimaginable mystery, and we just bow. We just bow moment after moment. But the way Yogacara describes it is one, the imaginary nature, which is the relative. It's all of our projections and beliefs, what we think the world is, what we think we are, our conceptual habits, the way we conceptualize it, The more we can know that we're making it up, that's where freedom is. That's where liberation is. It's not what you think it is. It's so humbling. Isn't it? I mean, I just feel humbled all the time how I keep making up the same stories. I mean, it's a little more humor and there's a little more tenderness but I also really believe my stories. Okay, the second one is the other dependent nature. So we have our individual projections and the awareness of, and we get this through practice, through the teachings, through Zazen, through Sangha, is that everything that's manifesting is due to infinite causes and conditions. You can't separate out any of it. So you could say a tree that I am projecting onto that, calling it just a tree. There's a great story from, I remember hearing years and years ago about two Tibetan teachers pointing at a tree and saying, and they call that just a tree. And then they both just laugh. It's like, I mean, how can you just, I mean, we do, that tree is like, that tree is air, sun, earth, rain, Cambion. I mean, each thing is just a miracle. And then the third nature is the complete realized nature, which is beyond dualistic views, which is what we call in our tradition emptiness. So it excludes nothing. It includes everything. It's vast, inconceivable. Whatever appears isn't what it appears to be. It's what things actually are, is, things as they is. And in this place, which is always here. You don't have to do anything to earn it. You don't have to get there. It's when we can taste it and when it permeates these hard and fast projections, it's what freedom and liberation is. It's where joy is. It's where bliss is. So each thing is all three of these things. And Ben Connolly says, the more we wake up to this, it turns the mundane into wondrous, the tiny into vast, the infinite into the immediate, the known into the inconceivable, anguish into joy, peace, and compassion. And the practice is just keep watering seeds of goodness. Just keep watering seeds of deep intention, of love and kindness and compassion. Not bypassing, feeling it, and then out of compassion, water seeds for yourself and for all of us. So I thought then, Suzuki Roshi, he says it in a slightly different way. But of course, he's saying the same thing. And I'm going to go on with everyday life is like a movie. Our everyday life is like a movie playing on the wide screen, or we could say a projection on a wide screen. Most people are interested in the picture on the screen without realizing there is a screen. When the movie stops and you don't see anything anymore, you think, I must come back again tomorrow evening. He laughs. I will come back and see another show. You ever notice when you wake up in the morning how fast the movies, I mean, of course they're going on some level all night, but you wake up in the morning and it's like, whoops, there's the movie again. When you are just interested in the movie on the screen and it ends, then you expect another show tomorrow. Or maybe you are discouraged because there is nothing good on right now. You don't realize the screen is always there. But when you are practicing, you realize the mind is like a screen. I think it is good to be excited by seeing a movie. Suzuki Roshi's so great. He's not going to make anything. It's like, oh, it's a movie. some extent, you can enjoy the movie because you know that it is a movie. Even though you have no idea of the screen, still your interest is based on an understanding that this is a movie with a screen and there is a projector or something artificial, so you can just enjoy it. That is how we enjoy our life. If you have no idea of the screen or the projector or the projection, perhaps you cannot see it as a movie. Zazen practice is necessary to know the kind of screen you have and to enjoy your life as you enjoy movies in the theater. You are not afraid of the screen. That feels really important. It's like I think we all have parts of the movie where we cover our eyes. I mean, we've all got collective or individual hell realms, but we can ground ourselves in the center of it. You do not have any particular feeling for the screen, which is just a white screen. So you are not afraid of your life at all. You enjoy something you are afraid of. You enjoy something that makes you angry or makes you cry, and you enjoy the crying and the anger too. The most important thing is the plain white screen, zero, coming back to zero. That white screen is not something that you can actually attain. It is something you always have. The reason you don't feel you have it is because your mind is too busy. That's why we stop. Once in a while, you should stop all your activities and make your screen white. That is Zazen. That is the foundation of our everyday life and our meditation practice. Without this kind of foundation, your practice will not work. All the instructions you receive are about how to have a clean white screen, even though it is never pure white because of various attachments and previous stains. I remember working with these images or possibilities and having an inside I think it's the rose window is in Chartres Cathedral, but you know, stained glass windows are so amazing when the light and in fact, one of the things they used to do, and I think it was in Chartres Cathedral, but in deep training within the must be the Catholic tradition, is you would put people down in the dark in meditation, so all of your senses become very stilled. And then there is a particular moment where they would know that the light was going to hit and illuminate, you know, the huge stained glass window. And that's the moment when you would bring the person back into the light of awareness, because it's a moment of transformation. But it does seem to me that if you stay with the language of stained, you know, it's like stained can be, oh, there's something really wrong with it, or we're staining thing. I mean, war is a stain. I mean, there's so many ways that we can make that bad, but if you illuminate it, it all becomes a stained glass window of just each thing has its place in it, and we can see it in a different way, and then we can in a different way. So here's a question that came to me that I'll ask you, but then you can do whatever you want. What are the themes of your current movies? Could be something small, could be something you know, just something that you just see keep it's like Bruce got up this morning and he said he really likes his eggs in the morning. I shouldn't be telling this story on him, but he really likes it. I mean, a good egg is an amazing thing, right?
Yeah.
When you crack the egg and the yolk is orange, and it's like he loves your eggs. He's in love with Ellen because Ellen gives these. But so we tend to spend money on eggs, and because it makes him so happy in the morning. And then he cracked his egg and it was not a happy egg, and it was not a happy person. And then this whole, story about runny eggs. And anyway, that's a small story about, and maybe you have egg movies that arise in your mind, or whatever it is, or it could be about your body or about an ache or a pain. Or it could be, I mean, when I was sitting with this, I also know that I have movies going on in my head that are coming off the TV screen, and the news that are also. So might want to just bring one forward and share it, big or small, and then ways that you have or might practice with it, to practice planting beneficial seeds or transforming, bringing an awake awareness to it, so that the movie doesn't get stuck in the same old way, a mind of well, what came to me is I was reviewing some of the war scenes. That's what arose, and I just started chanting the loving kindness sutra. Just thought that's just it. That's just what, just chant loving kindness. So you want to play with this? See what comes up for you, and get in groups of 3, and you'll have maybe 50, so about 15 minutes. So 3 minutes for each person to play with it, and then you can talk together. And of course, you can talk about anything you want, but let's save the world. So really see what kind, have fun with your